Good morning, welcome all of you. This morning we are going to discuss a very great spiritual topic that is on to will what God wills. So on the will we are going to have a brief discussion. This is the topic of our discussion. We will discuss in brief on will. सो दिस संकल्प इसके ऊपर हम कुछ कुछ बात तो करेंगे, थोड़ा आलोचना ही करेंगे. वी मस्ट डिस्कस समथिंग ऑन विल. So the topic of discussion when we are going to discuss on actually to will what really God wills. That is the supreme secret, and that is also as mother quotes, that is the supreme secret. The divine will is that we should be like a channel always open. We should be like a channel, like in many TV channel, YouTube channel, so many channels we have seen. So like we will be channels always open, always more wide, not only open. Second condition is always more wide, so that his force may pour in their abundance into the mood. So we must be open, we must be more wide, we must be the channel for the divine to pour in abundance his energy, his power, his light. So this is the divine will. We must definitely will be a channel. We must lie before the divine always like a page perfectly blank. Like a page perfectly blank, we must be before the Lord, because on which, like the clean slate teachers and of course everybody is going to write like this. We have to become like a page perfectly blank, so that the divine will may be inscribed on it without any difficulty or mixture. That is what the secret. So, because if you wish to install there the living presence, keep the temple clean. Make clean, mother's quotation, make yourself a clean slate, so that the divine will come and write whatever the needful he feels to write. Like this, make us, we must become a page perfectly blank, so that the divine's will may be inscribed in us without any difficulty or mixture. Again, to do at each moment the best we can and leave the result to the divine's decision. Karmeno badhukarastu ma phalesu kadachana. So we have got the right to work. We will try to improve it day by day. Everything, every day we'll try to better our achievement. That is what we can do. But the thing is that we must not focus or expect any result, because leave thy works result to its omnipotence. All things shall change in the God's transfiguring hour. He is the right. He has got the right, and he is the right. He has got the right to give us the fruit at the right moment. So we must not worry about the fruit. But one thing we must do, that we must do our best, and we will try to do better every day by day. So that is the surest way to peace, harmony, and the strength. See, if that is done, work done in true spirit is meditation. The true work done in the true spirit, the best you can do. Leave thy works result to the in the hands of the mother. Then that is the surest way for peace, happiness, strength, progress, and final perfection. That is what can be done. Again, the only thing you have to do is to remain quiet, undisturbed. These things you can do. Leave thy works result to its omnipotence. That is the surest way for the peace, progress, and the prosperity, strength, final perfection. Then what you have to do? What actually मुझे क्या करना है? मुझे क्या करना है? इसको you have to keep quiet, remain quiet, undisturbed, solely turn towards the divine. The rest is in his hands. That is what the thing you can do. Again, be quiet and offer yourself finally and calmly and confidently. Offer yourself calmly and confidently without the minimum resistance, without minimum hesitation. All that happens is always the effect of the Supreme's will. All that happens is always the effect of the Supreme's will. Human action can be the occasion, but never the cause. Let thy will be done, not mine. That is the mantra, that is the prayer from our side. And when the thing will come, that the supreme will be effectuated. Everything will happen, that is the divine will, not our will. And of course, we have to become equanimous, and we have to wait without any tension, without getting, just with a quiet and remaining undisturbed. and getting open to the divine. Again, there is a supreme consciousness that governs the manifestation, not any human will, not any divine will. There is a supreme consciousness that governs the manifestation. His wisdom is certainly greater than ours. We are limited. We are almost confined. We don't have anything to think more or to do more. That is what we believe in can be done. That is his wisdom, divine's wisdom is definitely greater than ours. So we need not bother about what is going to happen, what is going to happen. That is divine's will, and that is best for us, because he knows better than what we know. The Lord is always victorious. That there is no doubt of it. Even if sometimes we feel that is this dark adventurer seem to win, what actually thing is that finally the ultimately the victory of truth is certain, ultimately certain. In this way, not the human way, but in the divine's way, according to the his own will, not according to the will of man. So we have got the right, Mother Courts. You have got the right. You can make your suggestions, your demands, your acceptance, whatever you want. You can write and that place at the divine feet. But thing was that it will be given to you, and when it will be given to you, or it will be rejected, that is only depends upon the supreme will. The Lord is always present, and only thing that we don't realize it. That is the problem, and that is the lacuna with it. And again, after discussing so many things, the next problem comes: what that really that will is meant. Will, what we understand really the will. The will actually, Mother Quotes, the power of consciousness turned towards the effectuation. Power of the consciousness turned towards the effectuation. Towards effectuation, the power that is of consciousness. One must have an unvarying will. After the will, we are going to discuss the second type, that is an unvarying will to acquire what one does not have in his nature. We have nothing. Suppose something is lacking, that is not in in our nature, so that has to be acquired. To know what one does not know, does not yet know. Something more things are there that actually we don't know. Simply what we know, that is the knowledge of the books. That is actually rhythmically, mechanically we are reciting something that was actually from hundreds and thousand years it has been written, and simply we are writing, and after the exam we just simply forget. To be able to do whatever what one can do. So that is what the endeavor, that is what the expectation that we have to do. Three things, Mother quotes here. One does what not done by the nature. We must, second thing, to know what it is not known to us till unknown. And of course, to be able to do what not yet done, yet not done. We must progress constantly in the light and the peace. We must, this is a progressive, everything Mother quotes here in the course, this is a progressive step. In a dawn, then nothing can be fulfilled, even not possible within a birth also, it needs baths together. So nothing to worry. Thing is that we must be cheerfully, we must be a pilgrimage, we must start our journey in a peaceful, in a very interesting, exciting way. One must progress constantly in the light and the peace, which come from the absence of personal desire. That must not be there, and that must not hinder. That is the criteria, that is the requirement of the time. Even the most beautiful thoughts, we feel that is the most beautiful thought. Today we think this is the most beautiful because so far many thoughts I have thought of, because this is the best. Tomorrow, after this, after some time, you feel another is coming, and still that is, this is better than the best. So nothing best is that. Even the most beautiful things will not make us progress unless we have a constant will. After unvarying will, secondly, Mother course, this is a constant will should be there for them to be expressed in the as through nobler feelings, most exact sensations, and the better actions. These things, three most things must be there. This expression through three things: one is nobler feelings, second is more exact sensation, third is of course in the better actions. So with that, actually this betterness, this best action will be achieved, and will be of course available to us. Again, we are going to quote a beautiful thing, but actually this will that is quoted by Mother. Now we will see what Airobindo really quotes on the will. Two lines we will see. See, when the will is coming, we have, of course, we have discussed in different point of time, in different chapters, in differently, in various forms and formats. different types of will, human will, divine will, God's will, good will, free will, my will, human will. So many ways we have, supreme will. Many ways we have discussed in many format as per our requirement of this topic of discussion. Here, here in the course, our human will, we know a perversion of the divine will. So it is detached. Mother house during the course. Our human will is misled and wandering ray. Misled and wandering ray that has parted from the supreme puissance. Original supreme puissance, it has been parted. This human will. Misled and wandering ray here. Again, Sri Aurobindo tries to quote, nothing can prevail against the soul's entire will. Again, the Sri Aurobindo quotes, entire will of the soul, soul's entire will. Nothing can prevail to reach to the divine. It must reach there. There is no other go. It has to go. It goes, of course. The problem is that sometimes there is a obstacle or hindrance is there, but thing is that it must prevail. There is no doubt of it. And again, we'll quote few lines when we human will we know that simultaneously one thing is coming, that is on divine will. Our limitation and distortions, of course, are a contribution to the working. The true power of the in it is the divines. Again, when the mind is pure and the psychic is prominent, how shall we know? Will be how shall we know that this is divine will or human will or the Titan's will or something else will? How shall we know? Master Aurobindo tries to give a clue, that very good, clear clarification, that clarity there. When the mind is pure and the psychic is prominent, clarity of mind and prominency of the psychic, that is what required. Then one can feel what is according to the divine will and what is not. If the mind is not pure and psychic is not prominent, very difficult to distinguish between this human will or divine will, supreme will, like this. When the divine wills is, what the divine wills is always the best for us, that we must require, we must know. That is what the requirement. You know, we are going that minister is always saying, God, what the God wills and to perform, that is for the best. Actually, the king got irritated because he got hot, falling from the horse. Actually, he put him in the prison. After some time, when he was in the actually went in the forest, lost the path and all, some people actually sacked him, and next day he was found, he was going to be actually slain in front of the goddess Kali. But when finally he was checked, he found something is a hot place, is wounds in their body, so he was rejected, simply thrown away. That time only the king came to know that this is has happened. Immediately he rushed inside and freed up from the minister from the jail. And that time also smilingly this minister is speaking, yes, what is done, that is the divine will. Because had I not been present here, I would have approached, I could have accompanied. Because you are hurt, because but I was actually in a good physical state. No wants nothing. I would be slain then. So divine has will is actually prevails. Again, even when the man does not see how it is, really that is the problem, that is the criteria we can feel, we can see here. Then actually when it is question, how to strengthen the will, that is the criteria. And mother quotes, how, as we strengthen our muscle by a methodical exercise, so we can, what we can do, same thing we can also do. You can unite with a greater force and try more complicated experiments, and gradually you will do it regularly, and by the end acquiring the independent and the strong will. That's what we call. So what will be the voice of this divine will? I want what you want, but not before that. That's what we have to do. But because in order to want what the divine wants, you must have a will. That will must be there, otherwise you can't do nothing. Nothing can be done. Like to you should very much like to want the divine, what the divine wants to do. You don't possess a will to give to him and to put his service. That is what the consecration must be there, and it is there because this is the divine will. And the good will, two attitudes one must have for the sadhaka: either a quiet and entire to all regardless of the friendliness or hostility. Second, a general goodwill. That is what the requirement. Thank you.